Hey, what's up everyone? SKULM here, and in today's video we're going to talk about the best leveling and endgame Necromancer build for Season 6. I am in Diablo 4 Season 6 PTR, and in the PTR I have streamed live for 10 hours straight since the launch of the PTR, and I have cooked a live build in front of my entire audience, my community. I own the rights to this build, I created it, and now I'm sharing this with you. In the background, you see some big blaster build using some weird stuff. The new ultimate ability Soul Rift is being used in combination with the new key passive Affliction, and somehow we're dealing a lot of damage by spamming our Decrepify Curse. The build has amazing potential. It is by far the best leveling build ever, and in Season 5 my community has asked me for a leveling build. Now I am delivering the perfect leveling build for Season 6. But please take this information with a grain of salt, because I have received this data and this gameplay from the PTR. This is on the PTR. Anything is subject to change, especially after watching this video. Blizzard might nerf this build. However, if they don't, then this build is going to be amazing. It's going to be super fun to play. Now, as you see in the background, Butcher is no problem. Torment tier 3 is no problem. I mean, I literally leveled from level 1, and in one night, in approximately 8 to 9 hours, maybe even less, I was already at Torment 3. And remember, Torment 4 is the highest difficulty of endgame you can get to. Now, there are a total of 100 pit levels. It used to be pit 200, but they squashed the pit levels. So, pits will have 100 maximum, and I'm already completing pit 60 in one night without masterwork gear, without needing the mythic uniques. I am currently using 2 mythic uniques, the Harlequin Crest, which is not optimal. The other one, the Perdition Haze, is actually the optimal one because it grants me 60x damage if I can get my hands on it. And the other one is the Ring of Starless Skies for the 50x damage, because we don't have a lot of nice legendary aspects for this build. So, and also there is a new unique weapon called the Unmaker, which is lacking right now. If I get my hands on that weapon, it's going to deal even more damage. But anyway, enough introduction. Let me show you how things work. Now, as you can see, I'm in front of a training dummy. I am going to make this a boss training dummy. There is a minion version of this build that I have created, and it actually works with minions as well. They deal a lot of damage with this, but right now I found it best that if I go solo and sacrifice all minions. Now I'm going to introduce you to the new ultimate ability, okay? Soul Rift. Soul Rift is going to be our bread and butter because it's going to give us essence and everything else we need. It's going to apply vulnerable as well. The key passive Affliction is amazing, and as you can see, my current damage bonus is 141x. I will explain later how I got to this point, but this Affliction key passive is activated by either applying vulnerable, crowd control, or shadow damage over time. Now, against bosses, you cannot apply crowd control because they need to be staggered. And applying vulnerable to them is a bit tricky for the Necromancer. However, you can easily start off and apply shadow damage over time. This is one of the reasons why we are using Blight, and then we spec into Supernatural Blight for 20x more damage. So what are we supposed to do when we see a boss? Very simple. Look, if I spam my Decrepify right now, I do not deal any damage because the Affliction key passive is not activated, okay? Nothing is happening, but look, I press Blight. There is a shadow damage over time. Look what happens when I press Decrepify. Boom, 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 boom. Now, I can create a corpse, and with that corpse, if I press corpse tendrils, I'm gonna apply vulnerable. Now my Decrepify is hitting like a mega truck. You see this? It's just pumping damage left and right. With the ultimates, and remember, this is Torment 3 boss training dummy. Okay, this boss training dummy is in World Tier 3, Torment 3 difficulty. Alright? So keep in mind that even the training dummy actually scales. Alright? So this is basically what the build does. It has a lot of damage potential. It is perfect for leveling. It is perfect for speed clearing. And I think it is endgame viable. And I cooked this build myself. So let's walk over some of the gear choices that I made. Again, Shaco is definitely not necessary. You can use a normal legendary aspect. You can use a legendary item with cooldown reduction, intelligence and max life, and just put hardened bones here, or prudent heart. On the chest, we want essence per second, intelligence and max life. And for the temper, you want soul rift duration. Okay? As you can see, my gear is not even fully masterworked, and I'm already blasting. The glove is not even masterworked. So on the gloves, you want intelligence, max life and attack speed with Accursed Touch legendary aspect. I am using Juggernaut for the armor cap. When I min-max the armor, probably I'm gonna drop this and use Exploiter. We use the Cursed Aura for one reason and one reason only. The aura does its own instance, does its own damage, and I can deal my own damage, which means I can double dip into Decrepify. The aura will hit one Decrepify and I will hit another Decrepify. This double dipping is actually GIGA. For the weapon, we're using Aspect of the Damned because the enemies will be afflicted by curse, and I am dealing shadow damage thanks to the Affliction passive. The Affliction key passive is saving me a great deal of damage. Also, the temper here is crucial. You want chance for Affliction to deal double damage. This is the temper you want. This is extremely important. You will be hitting quadruple and even maybe more than that, and the damage is going to be massive. You will see some clips in the background. On the amulet, I have not decided yet, but you definitely want percent intelligence, gloom, and probably max life or attack speed. The preferred legendary aspect for now is sacrificial for me, but I am going to try out Great Feast as well. Ring of Starless Skies for 50x damage increase, and we don't have many legendary affixes to replace this. Again, there might be some replacements, specifically Great Feast. Right now I am not using Great Feast, I am using Grasping Veins instead for the 40x crit multiplicative damage increase, but again, Great Feast might be the play. I am still experimenting. This is definitely not a finalized version of the build. For the Book of the Dead, we're sacrificing Reapers for 35x increased shadow damage, sacrificing Cold Mages for 35x increased damage to vulnerable enemies, and sacrificing the Iron Golem for 61x increased critical strike damage. For the skills, it's very straightforward. Put 2 points into any basic skill, then get maximum ranks on Hued Flesh, get Supernatural Blight, get 1 point into Blood Mist, fully invest Necrotic Fortitude, Titan's Fall, put 1 point into Spiked Armor if you're just missing the armor cap, Blighted Corpse Explosion, Grim Harvest, Fueled by Death, 1 point into Iron Maiden for the Cursed Aura, Amplify Damage into Abhorrent Decrepify and Precision Decay, the new passive. You take 1 point into Necrotic Carapace, Corpse Tendrils, into Plagued for the vulnerable application. Then you definitely want to play Gloom and Terror, and 1 point into Crippling Darkness for boss staggering. Definitely put 3 points into Finality, Memento Mori Max, Standalone Max, Inspiring Leader Max, and then of course Soul Rift Max with Supreme and Prime upgrades. And then you're gonna use the new key passive Affliction. Paragon boards, I am experimenting with it, but since we're limited to 5 boards, we have the starter board, and then we will definitely play with Wither, Flesh Eater, Frailty, and Scent of Death. I will be experimenting more. But again, as I told you right now, this build is incredible. It is dealing devastating amount of damage. It is dealing massive damage. Okay, so I was able to kill the Butcher, I was able to kill pit bosses, I was able to kill Torment Duriel, I was able to kill Lilith. I am unstoppable with this build, and I'm really proud to have actually created this. And please, content creators, if you're gonna take this build from me, please at least credit me. If you don't, there may be some repercussions. You have been warned. I put a lot of time and effort into this build. This is my build, so please respect that. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to reach me out on my Discord. This is going to be the ultimate leveling build for the Necromancer, and the endgame build, especially the early and the late endgame, it is very viable. I'm already at Torment 3 and I'm on my way to Torment 4. Pit 60, very easy. I will just get Torment 4 and then we'll see where it goes. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.